You know what's so great about coming together for something like this is the array of things, subjects that people write about or get intrigued by or are drawn to. It's just wonderful. Our next reader is Susan Budig, and I need to say something about Susan because she is a poetic force in the community. Susan has pulled people together for classes and workshops. I think you did some here. She's hosted a reading herself. She loves to write. She loves poetic forms. I'm really proud to have you here again, Susan Budig.
Thank you, Diane. This first poem that I wrote, it's a sestina, and that means there's a lot of repetition, but no rhyme. It's titled Earthly Beliefs. There's a few things about me that are beautiful, but you don't know them. First, I live on this earth as a human being, but before I lived here, my friends, I was an angel. Maybe I ended up here because of lust, lusting to eat Braeburn apples or to hold small furry animals. I'm not sure, but lust is powerful. Look it up in the library. The name of the street where I live is Library Lane. Down the block on mornings filled with beautiful sunshine, I walk to that reverential place, spying animals along the way. Believe me, look it up on Google Earth if you are too incredulous. Some people actually lust after the name of my street, but not my friends. Second, I find that I am lonely for friends. Again, that might be hard to believe, and no library book will confirm it, but I am lonely. I lust for deeper friendships with souls that are beautiful. When looking for friends, this small world becomes a giant earth which no ship can traverse, and friendless, we act like animals. The irony is, I am the cruelest of all animals. So if you can, please send me a legion of friends. Third, although I am a Christian, I love this earth. Its splendid woven sky and manufactured libraries and synagogues, all of it is exquisite. All is beautiful. Yes, I know, love not the world, for the world is lust. But if so, then I dive into the glories of earthen lust, as the pious dive into earthen vessels. God made animals the same as me. Why spurn the handwork, the beauty that is the Lord's? Instead, we ought celebrate, friends, how perfect life is. Pour out of your churches, your libraries, your Starbucks and Bean Goods, and sing praises to our earth. Fourth, I believe there is no other earth like this one, but that there is drudgery and lust and salvation in abundant measure. In the library of the universe, I believe we can verify even animals' souls. Don't be fooled by others, not even your friends, who decry notions like mine. Know that you are beautiful. It is written in God's library that this very earth contains redeemable life, both beautiful and lustful, both animal and human. Read it in the book, dear friends. Thank you. The second poem is a pantoum, so that every line I read twice, and there is rhyme in this one. How snapdragons first form. This has always been a favorite myth, how a flower was once a great dragon, the nugget, the cream, the kernel, and pith, all contained in my bookmobile wagon. How a flower was once a great dragon, timid Evelyn begins with a smile, all contained in my bookmobile wagon. Now her words enthrall and beguile. Timid Evelyn begins with a smile, her voice wraps us up in a wire. Now her words enthrall and beguile. The dragon was something for all to admire. Her voice wraps us up in a wire, but into the river of Styx it descended. The dragon was something for all to admire. Its death down in Hades is where it all ended. but into the river of Styx it descended. Evelyn reads from the fable as if it's a novel. Its death down in Hades is where it all ended. In spite of the fire drake's low moaning gravel, Evelyn reads from the fable as if it's a novel, then throws down the book with a fiery scream. In spite of the fire drake's low moaning gravel, the children are thrilled with faces they beam. No, I'm not done. I'm sorry. Then throws down the book with a fiery scream. The cutlass she brandishes, eyes scanning wide. The children are thrilled with faces they beam. Come back, my dragon, brave Evelyn cried. The cutlass she brandishes, eyes scanning wide, then beheads the imaginary wildflowers. Come back, my dragon, brave Evelyn cried. But the dragon sinks into earthen power. She beheads imaginary wildflowers. Her fire lizard drinks its nectar. Then the dragon sinks into earthen power and transforms into a floral specter. Her fire lizard drinks its nectar, the nugget, the cream, the kernel, and pith, and transforms into a floral specter. This has always been a favorite myth. Thank you.
Our next reader, Julia Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I chose two. I took it seriously. We were supposed to bring something funny. So the poems that I like don't tend to be funny, so I had to look for a while. And what I chose was my favorite Shakespearean sonnet, because probably 40 years ago was when I was first introduced to this. I didn't think Shakespeare wrote any funny sonnets, but I think this one is. And I can't read what number it is because it's in the CXXXX. So if somebody knows Roman numerals, that's what it is. He says, my mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, then wires grow upon her head. I have seen roses damasked, red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. The next one is mine. I wrote it almost 40 years ago. And I think for those of us who want to write or want to think of ourselves as writers, this captures my assessment of that process. It's called To Night Owls. It is getting very late. I am getting very weary. I would like to write a while before I have to go to bed. It is not to be profound or to expand upon a theory, but the solitude is getting me instead. I wonder if this feeling is not merely my own feeling, but endemic to all writers who must write, and the origin of Hemingway and Maupassant and Shakespeare lies in just a bit of loneliness at night. The image of a flicker of a taper on a table over which is hunched the shape of the inspired is a common, quaint illusion that but adds to the confusion between what's really there and what's desired. I imagine that a candle is not all required to handle deathless themes immortalized in deathless prose, but an early morning rising can be just as catalyzing as any late retiring can go. Judging from my own creations, I would say that inspirations don't rely upon one's sleep or on one's lack of it, and that chattiness and solitude might improve the attitude, but something else must answer for the knack of it.
Thank you for 100 and something of Shakespeare and a dandy rhyme. The next reader is me. And I'm going to read a couple of poems, one of them my own, maybe even two of them my own, and then a poem by Billy Collins that I thought was funny.